Welcome back to Twist of Fate, a small business podcast where you can find your inspiration to make your entrepreneurial dreams come true. Today's episode we filmed in sunny San Ramon, California at our headquarters here at 3 Steps Forward, and I'm looking forward to this episode dedicated to better living through chemistry. Never take for granted the smart people that make our lives better, and I brought a really smart one today. Today we're here to talk with the president and CEO of Q Retino and how she is exploring entrepreneurism, bringing better quality of life, better outcomes, and all types of new innovations for you. Belinda, welcome to Twist of Fate.
Nice to meet you. Thanks for having me here.
So Belinda, why don't you tell me a little bit more about Q Retino and the unique solutions you're bringing for skincare?
So Q Retino is a dermatology company. We have a series of drugs that were initially looked at for a totally different indication, but we found that it's extremely active as a topical, which is very difficult. We are currently trying to out-license this series of drugs focused on acne vulgaris, skin cancer, psoriasis, with a unique transdermal delivery vehicle. And there's not been a lot of innovations in this area for a long, long time. And a lot of the, for example, acne drugs are actually generic. And they cause dryness, redness, irritation. And with the delivery vehicle, we're able to use a much lower quantity, so it doesn't cause all those side effects. And some of the drugs cannot be used when you're pregnant or for younger children. And we are able to expand this therapeutic window.
Okay, fantastic. So for my listeners, acne, I think all of us have a little battle with it when we're in our teenage or adolescent years. Is there a particular age or indication that is specific for your solution?
Well, most drugs are catered for teenagers or young adults. And we believe that with the dosage, which is 10% lower than any of the active acne drugs that are out there, you can get it down to probably 5 years old to much older adults, and men and women, and probably even if you're pregnant.
Fantastic. Now, one question I have is in terms of development, are you in clinical testing, human testing, or is this available currently?
It's not available yet. We have done a lot of preclinical testing. We've done one pilot study outside of the US and has shown that it's extremely effective. So right now we're looking for a partner to bring this to fruition.
Fantastic. And in terms of the life cycle of this is a startup, right?
Yes.
And you're seeking Series A or investment or partner you just mentioned.
We're looking for partners to take this forward. We are in Series A, and what we also believe is that because we have formulated it with a special delivery vehicle, a lot of topicals don't actually get to the right place, drugs, because you rub it off, so it's not as efficacious. And we believe this is a totally new way of delivering drugs.
Fantastic. And the geographic area you're looking, this is for worldwide, right? This can benefit anyone. But are you moving towards FDA clearance first and then CE mark, or is there a strategy there that you're thinking of?
The strategy is FDA first, unless we have a European partner that wants to do studies in in Europe instead. But usually, in general, Europe and US, you move them at the same time.
Yeah, no, I think what's interesting about your opportunity is that in terms of a total addressable market, I mean, acne is something that affects all. It affects, as I mentioned, Doug in his adolescent years. Yes, I admit I had acne. But even more like stress, and there's other indicators that can lead to problems. Now, this is something for the face and hands and other, like you mentioned.
It's applicable for face and the body. And the second indication is psoriasis, which is huge. A lot of people get flares up every now and then, especially when they're under stress. And because we can use much lower level, you can use it more continuously and prevent flare-up.
Yes, to my entrepreneurial listeners, can you imagine being stressed? It's going to happen very commonly. So, Belinda, so where did your journey start? Um, Trying to come up with innovative solutions for skincare. Is that a personal passion of yours? Is this something that caught your eye, like at a trade show event, or like how did you?
So with Q Retino, I was actually recruited to help move the drugs forward, and right now we are definitely trying to do the biz dev. But before that, I've always been interested in good-looking skin. I started my journey at Gillette, actually, corporate research, and I developed certain things that went into the plate. Then I went to
Like razors, like
Yeah.
Gillette razors
Yeah.
and stuff. Oh yeah, yeah.
got to go to the factory, see how blades are moving, and that was after my postdoc. And you will never believe the amount of research that goes into a razor blade. There's microscopy that looks at how the blade is shaped.
As an African American using razors, like I get razor burn actually, and that I can believe so much research and development goes into it because all skin types
Are different.
respond differently to different conditions. And to my listeners that don't know what razor burn is, it just means if I like shave dry or if I use like a razor, I actually use electric razor because I have outbreaks. And so it's really cool to hear that you started with understanding the problem and the need of a lot of people out there.
Then I became CEO of a company, and one for neurodegenerative diseases. It has nothing to do with skincare, but at that time, somebody who worked for me used to know the VP of R&D of Estee Lauder, and they were looking of how to energize energy on the skin, but looking at wrong molecule. Mm-hmm. So we collaborated back in 2000. I'm dating myself, and they were able to launch the first product within a year. And we continue to work with them and supply a specialty ingredient. So and the first product was called Light Source because it energizes skin and makes it brighter. And then we developed our own line, which I then sold to another company before I joined Q Retino. So it was more on the cosmetic side. Mm-hmm. Q Retino is definitely more on the medical side. And what I was saying now is that there's a lot of innovation, more in aesthetic medicine. But I think there's a need to go back and get some of the new drugs, old indications with newer drugs.
Twist of Fate will be right back.
Trying to do everything yourself? How's that going for you? 3 Steps Forward is a full-service marketing agency that takes the weight off entrepreneurs and helps them follow through on their ideas. Step up your personal brand, boost your web presence, and elevate your business with our team of marketing experts. Are you ready to reinvent your business? Schedule a consultation today. Visit our website at 3stepsforward.com.
Welcome back to Twist of Fate. Fantastic, and I appreciate you sharing your history and experience there. I think a way that we're going to get more innovations is that we need a lot more venture investment. So you work in this area, right? So you also lead as a CM Ventures, is that correct?
CN managing partner. So we help with seed investment or Series A. We work as a business development for some of these early companies because I think the real need is an early stage investment. By the time, and that's what's overlooked by a lot of larger venture firms. And the entrepreneurs really need a little help to just get over the hump to be able to go to the Series A. Obviously, there's a lot more risk, but you get to see many more companies and innovations. So we have in the portfolio a vertical farming company that has done really well and is going for a larger round. An siRNA company that is working on nerve regeneration, extremely exciting, and that came from a University of Albert Einstein Medical School. We have a portfolio company that I'm looking to license out, which has a really ingenious way of delivering sustained release of biologics, which is really difficult. And that technology came off University of Wisconsin. And then I have another delivery technology, and they're able to tailor it for hydrophobic and hydrophilic molecules, large and small. And the range goes from, for example, lidocaine. They're able to put it on so that it numbs your skin before microneedling, to as large as delivering platelets to the dermal area.
Fascinating. Breaking the fourth wall, talking to my listeners, one thing that Belinda is doing that I think is a real gear shift that you'll see in entrepreneurism. She is functioning both as an entrepreneur and also a venture investor as well, and helping the proliferation of tech transfer of new technologies. It allows you to be able to speak both languages, right? You can speak both from the venture side as well as the entrepreneurial side, and I think that that it's a happy marriage. So it's really great that you're doing that work. So for any of my listeners, if they have startups that are pre-Series A or early stage, how would they get in touch with CM Ventures?
You can always send us an email and let us know. We go to some workshops or some investor conference. Next week, I'm at CELS, which is Canadian Emerging Ventures, and we meet with some early stage companies that want to try to come into the U.S. But the best way is to just email us.
Yeah, I really appreciate you sharing, and this is maybe a good segue to how open and how you've been an advocate for higher level education and working with universities. So for yourself, I mean, you come with all the accolades. You've gone to some great schools. So could we talk about your education background for my listeners?
Sure. So I went to college. I'm originally from Hong Kong. You can tell that I'm Chinese. I did my high school in England, boarding school. Then I came
I'm jealous by you being from Hong Kong because the dim sum there is amazing. So,
yes, food is out of this world. I went to an all-girl boarding school in England. I really did not like England. My sister loved it. I didn't.
Is that in London?
It's outside of London. It's in Worcestershire. It's called Malvern Girls College.
Mm-hmm.
And then I really wanted to be in the U.S. One of my mom's friend who writes for New York Times said, you should really look at Oberlin, not just all the Ivy Leagues. And so we went to visit Oberlin, fell in love with it. The size, it has a conservatory, it has a college, a great science program, and obviously I'm interested in science, but I was also a piano player.
I was just going to ask you, are you a musician?
Yeah. I'm not a musician. I played piano. Let's put it this way. And then after...
In college you played?
I did.
Fantastic. Maybe I should reveal that I actually played the saxophone.
Oh.
I started in third grade. I played 16 years, actually, and before I kind of put it up. Every now and then I put it away. I think once a musician, always a musician. So.
My husband actually bought an old Steinway for us at home. So I have a rosewood Steinway from 1800s.
Is he a musician too?
No.
But you met him was it at Oberlin or in grad school?
No, so after that I did my PhD at University of Toronto.
Great school.
And that's where we met. And then...
I do a lot of work with Creative Destruction Labs, which is the Toronto group. Have a few companies that we represent, so that's great. Good innovation there. There's a lot of innovation
I stay in touch with my PhD professor. He's celebrating his 50th year at University of Toronto next year. So we're going to try and put together something for him.
Yeah, congrats to you.
And then after that, postdoc at MIT.
Okay, postdoc MIT, University of Toronto, Oberlin. One thing I can say that I really admire you is that accreditation, I still feel, is the greatest form of economic advancement, particularly for those that immigrate to the United States from other places. So kudos to you. Those are great schools. But I think you brought up a great point that my listeners need to really hone in on, is that you had mentioned that you stay in touch with a lot of the academic community. you do that is to stimulate relationships, or what was your thought or motivation behind that?
I think connections and networking is really important, not just for education, but to network. You never know who is going to lead you to what, and I did that all this time. For example, Oberlin, my advisor, I stayed in touch with him until he passed away last year. Every year with him.
My condolences.
Yeah, he was amazing. And the person I did my honors thesis, same thing, and people I worked with at MIT. So I think connections, networking, whether it's academic or professional, it's how you build up your community and help you move forward.
So you've had such a rich experience in higher education, and you're giving back even now by working at Oberlin as a board chair, working to bring new innovations to the university and benefits to the students. Maybe you want to talk a little bit about your contributions there?
I got involved with Oberlin again during the last presidency, and he brought in a group of alum, and he wanted some outside perspectives because Oberlin is so isolated. And first year we just went there, hear presentations, and then went away. And then the second year we came back, we were like, but we're not doing a whole lot, but just coming here, listen to presentations. Can we do subcommittees? And one of them was what was called Launch U, is how we can help students become entrepreneurs and to pitch. So it used to be just a winter term project, and then it grew and grew, but it really didn't align with what the college wanted at that point. And so a few of us, old board members, got back and said, we're going to redo this, because entrepreneurship is not just how to make money, which it could be for-profit, non-profit, for foundations. It's really a mindset and it's a skill set that students don't usually get in the classroom. It's beyond the classroom, and that's what the experience that we want to give them.
Which is an important life skill.
It's an important life skill, how to market yourself, how to market to investors. And investors could be NIH, it could be venture investors, it could be how do you market yourself to your, if you want a promotion. And that's all kind of part of the life skill. How do you pivot? How do you tell people your idea and not just be pushed back? How do you build teams? Everybody has different skill sets, and a team needs to be functioned together so that you work together to build a company or an enterprise. Even if you're in lab, or you will need to work with different people, and that's presentation skills. How do you analyze your competition? How do you know you have the best idea if you don't know your competition and who's around you? And those are all the skill set that we're putting together in this new program called Oberlin Innovation Studio. And the reason why it's called Studio also is because it means collaboration. It means teamwork. And for Oberlin especially, it has a conservatory and a college. It doesn't mean the conservatory students cannot work with college students, and college students should work with conservatory students.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Thank you for sharing, especially this Innovation Studio program. I think we'll hear more about that as time goes on. But to our Oberlin student listeners, you have something special that the president and Belinda and a lot of the board are working on that you have something to look forward to. Twist of Fate will be right back. Are you an aspiring entrepreneur? Are you seeking to reinvent yourself? Change can be difficult, but achievable with planning, passion, and optimism. Start listening to a small business podcast called Twist of Fate that brings together business leaders in a dialogue about how to make dreams reality. Twist of Fate is sponsored by 3 Steps Forward, a marketing company, and hosted by entrepreneur, founder, and CEO Doug Younger. Inspire your own Twist of Fate streaming on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Welcome back to Twist of Fate. Now, another thing I want to talk to you about, Belinda, I think you have a very unique perspective as an entrepreneur. You have an international background. you're a woman in business, a leader in business. So I'm curious, as a new venture, or when you look at other opportunities, what do you feel what is your criteria for success? What do you want to see from other entrepreneurs when they're pitching their ideas?
I'd like to see something that's, everybody's going to say that, innovative, but it could be a new solution to a problem, but really want to see something that has a market for it, and not just a product, and you're trying to find who you sell it to, or how you fit into the market. And the market may not know it. I mean, think about Facebook. When Facebook started, nobody knew about social media.
Didn't exist.
It didn't
That's
exist. Think about, iPhones. Everybody was on laptops. Nobody knew that you need a phone to use all that. Those are unique solutions, but not every enterprise of venture is going to be having that kind of solutions. But it would be nice to see also an entrepreneur or somebody who's starting to understand what's around them, what the competition is, and have the energy to drive this venture. We all know that you give a business plan, and most of the time it doesn't work. You're going to have to be able to navigate.
Adapt, yeah.
And
Pivot, you called it, right?
I call it pivot. And I think it'll be really important to see that a person is not just narrow focused.
Thank you for sharing your perspective. I think another open, honest question that I have for you is that there's a trend that I've seen where it's like the minority of venture capital money goes to female founders, female entrepreneurs. That from a demographic standpoint, women aren't given as much of the venture dollar currently. And I was just curious of your own perspective, because you've funded things, you've pursued things yourself. Do you feel there's any barriers or challenges, like as a community, we could improve on?
Oh, for sure. Women definitely have to work a lot harder. But I was fortunate at some point in my life to have a good support system, a family, husband, parents who are able to support me when I'm down. It happens, and to hold me back up. But also mentors. I think people should not think that they can do everything on their own. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to ask people for introductions. And that's usually how you get to where you want to go.
Yeah, I'm glad you shared that, breaking the fourth wall, talking to my audience here. I agree 100% wholeheartedly with Belinda on this. If you're a woman founder, if you're a woman in business, if you're an entrepreneur, my strongest recommendation definitely is to pursue getting a mentor and potentially even a sponsor. Yes, there's a difference between the two. There's a mentor that is someone that will have a vested interest in teaching you, helping you grow, helping you learn, and bringing out the best in you. And as you mentioned, they kind of pick you up when you feel down, and you're going to feel down a lot as an entrepreneur. But a sponsor is also a person that may be in your organization at a higher level than you that actually will help you and put dollars, money, resources, assets. I've had some that's the only way that I, as a minority entrepreneur, have been able to thrive, and I hope that you do the same. So another comment that I just heard you say that I think is great is that home is in the heart, and the family is very important for an entrepreneur when they feel down. But you're even continuing your legacy because your son goes to Santa Clara University, correct?
Yeah, I really believe in higher education. I think people teach you, help you grow. You should give back. And that's my way of giving back. So I just came on the board of advisor of SU's Healthcare Innovation and Design. It's run by an amazing professor, Prashant Azuri.
Nice guy. You introduced me to him.
Yes.
He's a very nice guy.
And their focus right now is in Alzheimer and memory care. And they have received funding from a large foundation in Seattle, and also related to a lot of the local biotech companies for projects. And I'm going to try and help them get their image out, because a lot of people don't know what they have been doing.
I'm just curious. I mean, you have the accreditations, the network, the success track record, but for yourself, what was your twist of fate when you decided entrepreneurism, right? You had a great career in corporate. Was there, is this a family thing, or is it, was it a mentor that encouraged you? I'm just curious, like where did that come from?
I think curiosity is how I became an entrepreneur, and I want to be able to do things my way, but not always my way, because I always want people to give me feedbacks. I was at Gillette and Oral-B, big organization, and I feel that it takes a long time to get anything done, although you have the resources, financial resources, human resources to do what you want to do. I was lucky enough to be able to experience from research and development to clinical to marketing to manufacturing. I was on a line in Ireland extruding satin floss, which I've launched. But then in a small company, you sort of have to roll your sleeves up, and you got to do everything. Not always by yourself, but you get to experience every aspect of a company. And that's what intrigued me.
Fantastic. I think this is a good segue to my final thoughts. Let's talk about giving back. Belinda is an exemplary citizen in the business, as an entrepreneur, as a founder and investor. But one thing you note that she's doing is that it is a business imperative, it is a competitive advantage, and if anything, it's a responsibility for all of us as entrepreneurs, founders, business leaders, to give back to the young people that are coming behind us, that need the opportunities we have, to be a mentor or a sponsor to someone, and most importantly, to take action. So my strongest suggestion to you today, as you finish this episode, how are you giving back? And going forward, Belinda, a lot of my listeners, either they're entrepreneurs or they want to collaborate, or maybe they want to give back and help you in doing that. How would they get in touch with you?
I have LinkedIn that you can get on my LinkedIn and send me a message.
If you like this content, please like, share, subscribe. Consider joining our Patreon. We're trying to make this content free and accessible to as many entrepreneurs that are aspiring or business leaders that are thinking about a pivot, that they can go and make their dreams come true with passion, planning, and optimism. With that, I will see you on the next Twist of Fate.
Twist of Fate is hosted by Doug Younger. It's produced by John Lundvid and Matthew Brown at Ezo Creative. Moni Yu designs our graphics, and Enrique Pimentel manages our digital life. Our theme music is by Jamie Bathgate. Special thanks to all of our patrons. You can support the show by visiting patreon.com/twistoffatepodcast. Thanks for listening.